So, how do you recover from cross country and transition into track effectively? Coach Jason here from Top Line Running. I hope you're all doing well. So, this is an important question that people have been asking me, especially on my TikTok account. For those that don't know, I have a TikTok account, Access to Coach, one word. So, if you have a TikTok, please follow me there. And if you're not subscribed to this channel yet, please hit that subscribe button. And please make sure all your notifications are turned on as well. That way, when stuff comes out, videos come out, when I go live, you'll know exactly when it comes out. And like I encourage folks to, if you have questions about any one of these videos, and I've got 600 here for you, load up the comments with questions. I answer I answer questions in the comments. You can also email me if you're a coach or an athlete. blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com is my email address. Again, blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. Yes, black belt. Okay, I have a fourth dan in 2 different martial arts. So, and that I happen to be a running coach of the last 2 decades as well. And I'm here to help you run fast and to keep you healthy while you do it. But again, this is one of the more important questions that people have been asking. Okay, how do I do this now? Without a summer based run, let's just say you're using cross country to get in shape because you haven't really had a consistent summer, and this happens a lot, particularly at the high school level. Okay, after the season's over, if you're using cross country to get in shape, then I encourage folks, this is my recommendation, is to take an easy week after cross country. And even every other day you can take off. Okay? Let's just say you're off Monday, you run Tuesday, off Wednesday, you run Thursday, off Friday, you're off Saturday. You run Saturday, you take off Sunday, something like that. Okay? And then the second week, you go back to 75% of whatever volume you're going to be shooting for in the indoor season, in the winter season. Okay, and you had 2 days of strides. The reason why it's not more is if you don't have enough, I think it's important to look back, right, and say, what have I done? Have I done enough to justify a significant off period after cross country? And if you haven't run during the summer, if you haven't put in a full summer, then it's unfortunately not enough to make it make sense for an off week after cross country and then an easy week and so on and so forth. Some people still do it. Like I say, if you're training consistently and you're recovering consistently and so on, you don't have to make drastic changes to your training. And I always say too, if the volume is low already, then there's no need for a big taper. Okay, just work with what's working, and this is one of the things that work. Now, on the flip side, if you did have a full summer, that's when I would justify a 1 week off after your final cross country race, a complete week off, followed by an easy week at 50% volume. Let's just say you ran 50 miles a week. You're in cross country, you're going to have an off week, and then the next week you do 25 to 30 miles, something like that. Just to kind of transition you back to full capacity. And then you can get back into training after that. Okay. And this is key. Okay. How that transition period sets you up for indoor track. And remember, indoor track is the longest season that we have. So having that little rest period after cross country, and cross country, that's the time to get fit and strong and ready to parlay into track with some strength and to help you run some fast times. So I encourage folks to run cross country. Even if you're at high school level, especially at the high school, even if you're a 400, 800 meter, and I'll get to that in a second, most 400, 800 people run cross country to a capacity, to a degree. Might run a couple races, less races, but they'll do a semblance of training with the cross country runners. Not necessarily a full transition, not the full type of 5K training that most people do, but they'll do a semblance of it. Now, the reason why I say this because 400, 800 meter athletes, these are good things to look for, good things to work towards after your cross country season, after your transition period. A 200 meter staple session. This is a good session that I give my athletes on Tuesdays every week. You're building towards 8 to 10 times a 200 at 800 meter pace with a 2-minute recovery after the rep. And again, you're building towards 8. Doesn't mean you have to go out and run 8 to 10 right out of the bat, right out of the gate. So if you can get 5, you get 5. And then you work towards 6, and then you work towards 7, and so on. But if you get to 8 to 10 of these, hopefully 10 preferably, and you can then get to that point where you can do it on a regular basis, then you can start building other great workouts around this. This is also a good session for half milers who step down to the 400 meter runners who step up to the 8, or people who double 800 4x4, 400 and 4x8, 600, 500, whatever, and one of the relays. This is a good staple session to build that strength endurance to help you do both and recover well. Okay. complementing with earlier 100-meter hill repeats. So let's just say you do those on a Thursday or a Friday. You're building towards 6 to 8 of those. You take a 3-minute recovery. This is a non-invasive way. This is a good early season. When I say early season, let's just say January, December into January. Okay, that's still an early part of the track season, not even to the first half of the season. So these are two workouts that I would highly encourage you to start building on after cross country as you transition into the track season for the 400 and 800 meter runners. Now, the majority of cross country runners are going to be the 1600, 200, 3200, or the 1500 3K group. And like I said in cross country, if you look at my training programs, I'll do the first 6 weeks. I'll do a tempo 1 week, threshold and tempo, then threshold and tempo and threshold. Same thing here, your Tuesday workouts. But now you're infusing it with a week at 3K pace, and then a week at 1600 pace, and then a week at 800 meter pace. And then you can go back again, 3K pace, 1600, 800 pace. Now you can do, let's just say the first time you do 3K pace, it is either 2 sets of 3 or 4 times a 600. Or 2 sets of 3 by 800, something like that at 3K pace, right? The next time you do, you combine. Instead of doing 2 sets, you do 6 consecutive 800s or 6 to 8 consecutive 600s and so on. That's how you can show the progression from the first time you do 3K pace to the second time you do 3K pace. And the tempo threshold first 6-week cycle will really help you achieve that. I do the similar type of cycle in my cross-country training programs. This really helps you get off to a good start when you're running cross or track. Okay, when you do 1600 meter pace, it can be the same thing. You could do 2 sets of, let's just say 4 times a 300 at mile pace. And then next time you do it, you could do 8 times a 300. Or you could do 2 sets of 3 by 400 week 2. And then the next time you do 6 times a 400 week 5. And so on. That's a way of going from 2 pieces to 1 piece. And then 800 meter pace, you can do something similar, like the 800s. Like the half milers are doing, 200 meter rest. But instead of doing at two with a 2-minute recovery, you do these with a 1-minute recovery, 800 meter pace. So if the goal is 2 minutes, you're running these in 29 or 30 with 1-minute recovery, and then you're building towards again. You could do 2 sets of 5 the first time you do it, then you can do 10 the next time you do it. So that's a way of alternating 1 week 3K pace, then 1500 meter pace, then 800 meter pace, and then doing it again over that 6-week cycle, combining it with your tempos and thresholds. That right there transitions you into the next phase of the season when you can start incorporating. If you see some of my training programs, that's when I start to combine threshold and race pace. Or start to do workouts where I do, 3K pace, mile pace, and 800 meter pace in the same workout. Pace fluctuation workouts. Now, the mid-season, you're ready to start running or training a little bit more tactically, a little bit more aggressively. Because at the end of the day, you want to run your best races at the end of the season, if that makes sense. So these are workouts that I encourage you to try. If you're a coach or an athlete, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I can show you how to build it out into your training plan. Okay, based on what you're doing now, what you want to do. Okay, and I do this a lot. I mentor a lot of coaches and athletes and help design their training programs. I mentor high school coaches and college coaches too. So I want to make sure that everybody has a thorough understanding of what we're doing here and why we're doing it. This is a good cycle for 2 milers, and the majority of 2 milers run cross country. Okay, you're training for 5K to 6K in high school, 8K to 10K in track. So this is no less applicable in college as it is in high school. Volumes might be different. Rest periods might be a little bit different. But as you get older and fitter and more experienced, you can manipulate that as you see fit. This is where coaching with the eye really comes into play. So if you have any questions about this, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer them. Again, load up the comments as well. Send me an email. Let's have a discussion about this. And if you want me to go live, so we can do a live discussion about stuff like this, let me know. And we can do that. Get you part of the discussion. I want to learn from y'all as much as you learn from me. So have a great day. Have a great rest of the season. I'll talk to you next time.